stories.
This is good. A good story for everybody.
This is a good day for America.
On KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Wakey, everybody, because we have a ton. That's right, 2,000 pounds of pro wrestling news, entertainment, all sorts of great stuff coming your way. Very special guest coming up today, too. We'll let you know who that is in just a little bit. What do you say we kick this off as we bring in my dear friend from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling in Austin, Texas. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the superstar, the guy who it would be fun to see him put Logan Paul through a table. Stu Myrick, everybody.
I would love that. By the way, Scotty Scheffler just saved par on 7. He has a 7-shot lead, the final round of the Open Championship, possibly winning the 3rd leg of the career Grand Slam. Lifetime Longhorn, Scotty Scheffler, by the way.
Fair enough. I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah, he played golf at Texas. I think they won it. In fact, I think they won a natty when he was on the golf team.
I'll have to do a little research on that. Yeah. By the way, that double ball shot, I think, was that Rory that had that?
Yeah.
That he hit 2 balls at once?
Yeah. I got to see Rory live when they had the Dell Technologies match play here in Austin. I'm standing with Tom Kite, of all people. Rory is hitting on 7, and my God, if I had 1/10 the talent Rory McIlroy had, I'd be playing golf more often.
Yeah, I'd be hustling some people out there at least.
Yeah.
You know, that'd work. We're hoping we're going to get Phil Stamper in here. Phil apparently had a storm roll through and his computer is whacked or something's going on in his electrical system in his house. So
yeah,
hopefully Phil will be joining us. Coach Rosie was up in Waterloo at the Hall of Fame up there, and apparently is driving David Crockett to Chicago, like the David Crockett from Crockett Promotions. So.
Yeah. That's awesome. A good friend of mine, James Beard, longtime NWA official. Of course, he was a ref here in Texas. He's a big part of the Tragos Hall of Fame every year. So, and I know they do big things up there. One of these days, I need to make it up there.
I think that we should do that next year. I feel so bad that it didn't get to go this time. After we had Jerry Briscoe on the show last year, but we'll see if we can work that out. That'd be fun. Yeah, looked like everybody had a great time up there. So, yeah. So let's get into everything going on right now, Stu. As well, we didn't get to talk about Evolution because that happened on Sunday after the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, they did get the place pretty much filled up. So good for them. Probably the biggest thing coming out of this is Naomi cashes in and is the new WWE Women's Champion. And pretty cool. Naomi really took a chance doing what she did and dropping the glow and going to the caution tape. And now she is the world champion. How awesome is that, Stu, in your opinion?
Yeah, that was a great moment for Naomi. She's battled, so long, and she won the SmackDown women's title back in the day, then got released, went to TNA, won the Knockouts Championship, then came back WWE, and now we've got this new Naomi with the caution tape, and the fans seem to be eating her up. They love it. And then that cash in during, what was really a really good match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And sure enough, Naomi gets the win, is now the women's world champion. She's going to face, I think, is it Rhea? No.
Rhea and Io. Yeah, they're doing
yeah, that's right. No, yeah, we're going to run it back at SummerSlam. Naomi defending. So, but yeah, it's good for Naomi. It'll be fun to see, assuming she holds on to the title after SummerSlam. It'll be fun to see, the challengers that will come her way.
Yeah, absolutely. Some other ones that came up, Stephanie Vaquer won the Battle Royal, so she's going to get a World Championship match at Clash in Paris. Jade Cargill, good match with Naomi earlier in the night, wins that no-holds-barred match. Tiffany Stratton beat Trish Stratus, not a surprise there. Judgment Day hangs on to the tag titles. JC Jane keeps the NXT Championship, which lines her up for Slammiversary tonight in a title match. That's going to be pretty wild. We'll talk about Slammiversary a little later on. And Becky Lynch beats Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And Lyra's going to get another shot at her that she earned this week. So Bayley's out in the cold. Oh, why are they being so mean to Bayley, Stu?
I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling they've got something planned. What that is, I don't know. I mean, congratulations, Lyra Valkyria, and then I'm a big Lyra Valkyria fan. I don't know. I've always enjoyed her work. So yeah, we'll see Becky and Lyra at SummerSlam. I wonder what is next for Bayley, and I'll be interested to see. I think they got something up their sleeve.
I'm sure they do, but because they better, because if not, she's going to be all elite in about a year and a half. I'm going to tell you that right now. She may do it anyway.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I always, all these speculations, everybody speculates about, if someone's coming even, semi close to contract expiration, everybody talks about, they'll go to AEW or they'll go to wherever. It's like, okay, folks, let's just wait until it actually happens. She might sign an extension.
And she might
change in 18 months.
I just have a feeling that her friendship with Mercedes may carry the day. When that time comes, but we'll see. You're right. We'll see. Kick it back and relax. Maybe they'll put 7 titles on her in WWE, and she'll be all happy and not want to leave. So, yeah. But yeah, it turned to Evolution, a very good card. Successful show there. Wouldn't you say, Stu?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it sounds like they got a lot of late buys as far as the ticket sales.
Yeah, they did.
I think they probably shrunk down how much they set up for, on the day, and I think it looked good. A lot of great reaction. Charlotte Flair getting cheered. Who would have thought that?
Yeah,
that was crazy. But hey, I guess it happens. But yeah, all in all, it was a good show. Obviously, it helped not having All In against it as opposed to the other WWE events that weekend. So that helped. But yeah, it was a good show overall.
Yeah. Did anything happen at the Great American Bash that you remember?
No.
See, no.
I mean
no.
They didn't have any title changes. I mean, of course I had to read the results after I got home from All In. I read the results. No title changes. They did the contract signing for Slammiversary, which that's still weird to do a TNA contract signing on WWE programming, but whatever. But yeah, nothing. I don't think anything newsworthy, and I still, I'm still kind of puzzled about why did WWE think this would be, sufficient competition against AEW's biggest show of the year.
That's the thing. If you're going to do it, you better stack that card. And they didn't.
Well, and I think I don't know if
there's some okay matches on there, but nothing that, you might get a little, excited about like the Ethan Page, Ricky Saints match. Jordan Grace was on there, but Obafemi defending, but not a match that you expect there's going to be any chance of a title change. So yeah, I just I feel bad for the NXT gang because they got thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was, I don't know if WWE underestimated, being on, AEW, you have to shell out $50, whereas, the Bash and, Bash was on Peacock, so it's $10. I don't know if they underestimated that or what, but there's just, I mean, the counter programming thing, and I get it. They wanted to dominate social media, which they didn't, not even close. It's like, folks, just put on your best show and let your programming speak for itself. Quit trying to, counter program.
Yeah, it also apparently had an effect on Saturday night's main event. They had their lowest rating since they brought the show back. So, wow. I mean, that is pretty shocking to see that, especially with Goldberg in his final match. I guess people just weren't that into Goldberg on this thing.
Well, and the ironic thing is he had a decent match. It was I think 14 minutes, which is about double what they should do for Goldberg, but apparently it was a decent match. I'm sure you've heard about Goldberg was on Ariel Helwani's show and vented frustration about the fact, his goodbye speech got cut off because they're on NBC. They got a hard out at 10 p.m. Eastern, which, there's a lot of conspiracy theories. I think it was just timing. Look, we've all been part of wrestling shows where things go long. So there you go. And there was some other stuff he voiced frustration about, which I understand. Not much you can do about it now.
Yeah, Goldberg apparently just not happy with the whole lead up and everything else. And he said, well, I got to wait a couple of weeks. So I'm guessing he's got to wait till his contract runs out before he goes and starts spitting fire out there. But he was not happy with it. I don't blame him about the speech. I mean, that was, that's a little rough.
Yeah.
To get your farewell speech cut off. So I don't blame, and especially with everybody that was there, that kind of sucked, but we'll see about the rest of it. I know he was complaining about he didn't do any media over the whole time.
Yeah.
And he said he did like 3 interviews and that
was the bit. And the build was not the strongest build they've had.
Yeah, it wasn't. And I just don't get what happened there, but oh, well, but AEW certainly, put some big numbers up. They got the attendance to around 30,000 for All In. Did $725,000 in merch sales, which is the most of any non-WWE card in the U.S. and Canada ever. So they're not complaining. They had I think 175,000 pay-per-view buys. I think it was their 4th biggest number. So yeah, not bad for All In.
I can attest to the merch lines. Those things that was serious. That was, they had a merchandise stand outside of Globe Life Field. That was, that took forever. And then you get inside the stadium and, forget it. It was crazy.
Wow. So a great weekend for AEW. So, and I got to get this comment from Jesse Hyde in here real quick. Goldberg got an AEW job interview thanks to Ariel. That's pretty funny. Because there are rumors that people are saying maybe he should have another retirement match in AEW. I'm like, oh, I don't know. You kind of did it.
Because he has no history in AEW. Because AEW's on the Turner Networks. I mean, that's the only connection. Why would you do a retirement match in AEW? That makes sense.
Who would you put him against? Billy Gunn.
Maybe. I mean, that's it. It would have to be like Billy Gunn, maybe Dustin. But
there's no
Jericho. Maybe if Jericho comes back,
Jarrett,
you could do Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, I mean there's
possibility.
I think probably the two individuals that would make sense are either Chris Jericho or Jeff Jarrett. And again, that's assuming Jericho comes back, which I would think he's coming back. That would kind of make sense, but again, he has, other than being on the Turner Networks, there's no connection.
Yeah, I think the big question would be why.
Yeah,
and Tony would probably end up having to pay him a lot of money to do one match. I don't think he's going to do that. So We'll see, but we'll be hearing from Bill Goldberg pretty shortly. And also, by the way, on the show today, hour number 2, speaking all this TNA talk, we're going to be hearing from TNA play-by-play guy Tom Hannifan on the show. So brace yourselves for that, everybody. That's going to be a lot of fun. And Tom and I are best buds now. We bonded. It was awesome.
Yes.
We actually had a great time on the interview, and it is posted right now, but just hang in there, you radio and live streamers, and you'll get to check out my interview with play-by-play announcer from TNA, Tom Hannifan, coming up here in just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right,
Tom's great. I talked to him a couple years ago at the Super Bowl. He's fantastic. Big Penn State guy, by the way.
Yeah, he's from Philly too. So yeah, you see where that went. All right, let's get this break in. And when we come back, some people were complaining a little bit about where AEW is doing their shows, and I want to get Stu's thoughts on that. Jelly Roll was on Jimmy Kimmel as we get ready for SummerSlam. Wonder how that worked out, and a whole lot more. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show.
All the news, sports, music, and podcasts that you want are all on the free Odyssey app. Download it today.
To get all rules and information for contests on KDAWN, visit our website at kdwn.com/contest-rules.
Hi, we're the Benicis, inviting you to take part in our 25 in 2025 scholarship campaign.
Every dollar helps bring talented young adults close to their dreams.
Learn more at 25in2025.org.
With the 2 Jewels of Henderson, the Emerald Island Casino, and the Rainbow Club, you've got the best paying slots valley-wide, best video poker valley-wide, and the best food and service you'll find in all of Southern Nevada. The Emerald Island and Rainbow Club casinos, where slot players are treated like royalty and everyone is greeted and treated like family. Great daily specials and parking is always free. Join your friends, family, and neighbors for round-the-clock fun. Think different, think better. Think Emerald Island and Rainbow Club casinos, the jewels in downtown Henderson's historic Water Street district, where everyone's a winner.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
1015 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, let's keep this party rolling here. I'm going to get out the solo cups. Stu and I are going to play some beer pong while we do the show. That'll be fun. Stu, you ever play beer pong?
Oh, God, yes. I mean, come on. Go downtown for Longhorn Tailgate. Yeah, you get beer pong, cornhole, all the good games.
Cornhole's awesome.
Oh, I have friends that are in a league.
We should, we could try and get on TV, Stu.
No.
Playing cornhole.
No, I don't know. I do not want to be on TV.
Why not?
Because.
Come on.
No.
Man, we get
much more fun on radio.
We get the free sausages and everything. I mean, it's pretty fun.
We got free sausages on radio.
Where?
Where?
I have no free sausages here.
We got like 43 barbecue restaurants like within a shouting distance of the studio.
I've got a million
all the time.
And
we're like 45 minutes from Lockhart, the barbecue capital of the world.
Fair enough. Well, I don't know.
By the way, a real quick plug. So the NBC affiliate here in Austin, KXAN, did a documentary on the family feud behind the barbecue restaurants in Lockhart. It's really fascinating. Talking about Terry Black's Barbecue versus Black's Barbecue, and then Kreitz versus Smitty's, and there's and those families are even connected, and so it's really cool. It's on YouTube. Just search KXAN, and you'll see it. It's really good.
Well, no greater food feud than Pat's and Gino's cheesesteaks in Philadelphia, which is sitting right across from each other.
Yeah.
And Tom Hannifan from Philly. So we'll get to talk a little Philadelphia when we have that interview going on the second hour of the show. All right. I saw something interesting that a couple people were complaining now about AEW's venues. First, we're not playing. We're playing places where we have a lot of empty seats. Now we're playing in places too small. And one person's complained that, man, they couldn't get into a arena that's 4,000 seats after all in. And I'm just sitting there like, what are you talking about? You're not gonna change your venue right after all in, especially when they're doing a residency there at the Byline Bank Aragon Ballroom there in Chicago. They're doing, I think, 6 shows there over 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
First, let me explain something to people. You don't just sign a contract at a big venue and back out. By the time you get done paying the penalty fee, which you're probably not going to get your money. If they'd have tried that, they'd never get their money back. Never get their money back unless maybe they rebook down the road. You can't do that. But here's the other thing that I think Tony has hit on something, that they don't necessarily need to be in a massive venue like they, they were struggling selling seats, and they probably could have played somewhere bigger. But there's a feel to those places. It's something different. And Tony's got those roots in ECW. So, the Hammerstein Ballroom's just got to be in the back of his head all the time when he sees places like this. And it just has a really cool look to it. Yeah, there's not 10,000 people there going nuts like they are on WWE shows, but there's an intimacy to it, Stu, I think. And just it's a neat look that nobody else does.
You're absolutely right. Look, wrestling fans, God bless them, can be really short-sighted. Whether it's WWE, AEW, TNA, they book these venues at least 6 months out. I mean, that's how far out. So, talking about booking a venue after all in, no, that's silly. And you're right, the intimacy. Look, Ring of Honor used to run some small halls back in the Sinclair days, and even back when Kerry Silken owned it. And you could feel the energy coming through your TV screen or whatever because of the intimacy and everything. You mentioned Hammerstein Ballroom, of course, ECW Arena. Those places just have a spirit. And you can't really define it unless you're there. And you're right. AEW has I think they've found this groove. Look, I was skeptical when Tony announced that All In was going to be at Globe Life, because I've been in there. It's a 40,000-50,000 seat stadium because it's Major League Baseball. The fact that they got 30,000 is a huge accomplishment. A lot of that was walk up, but these smaller venues, I think, are doing AEW well because it gives them an opportunity to play in front of sold out crowds, and some of those crowds. I mean, you're in the where were they? In the Esports Stadium in Arlington for Ring of Honor. That place seats maybe 1,000 folks, but it sounded like 10.
Yeah.
So whoever's criticizing these things, go outside and touch grass, please.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. But yeah, it is neat to see these places. And I think, it brings the fans a little closer. And when they get that kind of experience, they're going to walk out of there and say, yeah, man, I was sitting right here and Tony Storm was in the balcony next to me and walking by, and yeah, they were cutting a promo in the hallway right where I walked out, and and all those kind of little things that add to the experience. That and I'm not saying that WWE doesn't do a good fan experience, but you're not going to get that at a WWE show.
No,
you're not. You're not.
And on top of it, it's a call. Look, it's well known. Tony loved the territory era, and it's a callback to the Sportatorium in Dallas. Mid-South Wrestling, he uses a lot of tropes from Mid-South Wrestling in his booking. Mid-South Wrestling was shot at the Boys Club in Shreveport, Louisiana. I mean, you had maybe 75 folks in the audience, but it felt huge. It felt like a major event.
Yeah, well, like the shows on TBS.
Yes.
When you think about Crockett.
Oh,
they were in that little TV studio. There was nobody. I mean, there were people there, but I'll tell you one thing that when you'd watch those shows, you're like, oh my God, I would love to be one of those people there.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be in that. So there's something about it that I think is making sense. And, what's the point of booking a massive venue, and you're going to half fill it. And, maybe things are going to change here with Tony and AEW after this all in, that, you get back to that. But right now, I think they found themselves something pretty good.
I think actually he sticks with what he's got because, I mean, the thought should always be you leave them wanting more, or you make it where it is special. Go ahead and keep booking the smaller venues. That way it makes it more of a must do to get a ticket, get it soon, because it may sell out.
Right. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if when Tony gets back here, if he doesn't. Well, they did Virgin Hotels when they were here the last time for the TV shows, and a smaller venue has cool balcony spaces and stuff like that. It's not like Michelob Ultra Arena or anything, but it's still, everybody had great seats. You were close by, pretty close by, no matter where you were. It worked. The Palms is another venue out here that TNA is used, and that place is just a dream for pro wrestling. I mean, and I know they used it a ton at WrestleMania for a bunch of the different promotions that were in there, Bloodsport and Progress and so many others. So, yeah, pretty interesting discussion that took place on that. Bionic Scoop in the chat box, by the way. Scoop,
what's up, Scoop?
There are two shows at Showware in Kent, Seattle area is perfect. ROH would run there, and it's 5,000 seat at max venue. Yeah,
absolutely. They run, when they come to Austin, they run the HEB Center Cedar Park, which is home to Texas Stars, the AHL affiliate for the Dallas Stars, as well as the Austin Spurs, the G League affiliate for the San Antonio Spurs. That arena seats, I think, 7,000. Now, Texas shows are kind of an outlier. I wanted to ask Tony about this with the success of All In there in Arlington. He gets good attendance, whether it's Metroplex, Austin, Houston. He runs Rio Grande Valley. He's run El Paso. And yet there are venues here. I mean, we're the live music capital of the world. We've got Austin Music Hall downtown. You got the Palmer Events Center. That's been used for wrestling back in the day. You've got some smaller venues where you could make that kind of a feel here. Now, yes, he'll probably keep running HEB Center because he has good success there, and that's fine. Never mind the fact I'm closer to it, but
nice.
But if he wanted to run Austin Music Hall, that'd be good too, or Palmer, or one of the big live music venues downtown. Sure, why not?
Yeah, they've used Lee's Family Forum out here, which is where like the Henderson Silver Knights, the AHL hockey team plays, and the Nighthawks, the indoor team. But Tony, if you're listening, I'll give you one really cool one. The Venetian Theater.
I've heard that's nice.
Oh, it's so old school, opera housey. Oh my God, that place. I'm trying to picture them doing wrestling in there. It would be amazing. So yeah, so they're all right. So everybody relax. One guy who isn't all right after his appearance on the Jimmy Kimmel Show is Logan Paul. As Jelly Roll was interviewing Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre comes out. Those two get in a fight. And as Jelly Roll was trying to take things to commercial, Logan Paul comes out and Jelly Roll smashes him through a table. Stu is cringing. But I got to say, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. The Jelly Roll choke slam looked pretty good. He has apparently been working very hard. I am not a big celebrity in the ring guy, especially on a card like this. But I will say it got me that much intrigued, just a tiny little bit, just a little. I'm not hating on this like I was, not thrilled, but I'm not disgusted that Jelly Roll is going to be in the ring after that. Stu, what did you think of that whole thing?
I think I said this last week. WWE is more about the celebrities than they are about the wrestling. And sure, fine, use Jimmy Kimmel Show to to build towards a SummerSlam match. I still couldn't care less about this match. I'll be honest. I didn't care about it when it was announced. I still don't care about it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I just don't care. That would. If I'm watching, that's probably going to be the bathroom break match because I really don't care.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing of significance that's going to happen. It's just you're just trying to hope that Jelly Roll fans are going to tune in. Yep. That's the game plan. I'm still a little surprised that he is taking a spot on the card, but it's WWE's call. There's a lot of different, there's many ways to skin a cat, as they like to say.
And meanwhile, you got a very talented roster sitting in catering.
Yeah, that is true. All right, well, let's get a break in, and we're going to expand on that a little bit and talk about the styles that everybody's doing right now, like AJ Styles, maybe that he's showing up at Slammiversary, and it's going to be an awesome card. And don't forget, coming up hour number 2, we're going to hear from Tom Hannifan from TNA. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
Back by popular demand, the showroom at South Point presents Bill Medley and Bucky Hurd.
Let's get on with it.
You'll hear all the hits and more. July 22nd to the 24th. Tickets to box office online at southpointcasino.com or charge by phone. 702-797-8055. Don't miss this show. It's selling out fast.
Thank you.
As we age, our immune systems may need a little extra support. That's why staying current with your COVID-19 vaccines is so important, especially for those 65 and older. Give your immune system the support it needs to keep you protected and healthy. Talk to your doctor about getting an additional COVID-19 vaccine dose. This message funded by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Immunization and Vaccines for Children program, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems. Listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
1015 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, we are back on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys talking wrestling in the house. Fortunately, he's leaving me for the second hour. I'm devastated.
The Rhodes Wrestling Association Hot Summer Nights tonight, 6 p.m. Central. By the way, if you want to watch it, go to Twitch. Search for Rhodes Wrestling Association. The Rhodes brothers, Wayne and Wyatt, will be in action, as is our RWA champion, Jimmy House, who was actually one of the police officers on Monday Night Raw, because, of course, Raw was in San Antonio. So he was one of the police officers there. But Jimmy House will be defending Vert Vixen, defending her RWA women's title against Maya World. Some great action. Check it out, Rhodes Wrestling Association. Hot Summer Nights tonight, 6 p.m. Central. That'll be 4 p.m. Pacific. Go to Twitch, search Rhodes Wrestling Association.
All right. So, Stu, after this crazy weekend happened, and AEW really just, I hate to say it, but they put the boots to WWE, especially on Saturday. And they do a different style of wrestling there. It's more of a risk-taking style when they put their matches together. WWE is a little more formulaic. But now, after this Show It All In, which was just so well received, what does WWE need to do at SummerSlam? Because one thing when we watched WrestleMania, it was kind of like, couple really great matches on the card, but the main event kind of bombed out, and it just didn't seem like it was quite there. How does WWE respond to this, or do they and just keep doing what they're doing?
I think that's it. I think they do what they do. Look, AEW was created as an alternative, and that's exactly what it is. I think, again, it kind of goes back to the whole thing with the counter programming. I think if you start doing stuff to respond, I think you lose yourself. Look at WCW, late, the end of WCW. I think you stick with what you got. You put the best card you can, put best card together that you can, and let it, and just truck on and let AEW do their thing. as much as I enjoy the AEW style, yes, it does tend to lend to more injuries. And you'll see folks that have to go, have to stay home for a little bit to recover. I think now, look, it's not ballet, kind of like, it's kind of like football. It's not ballet, but WWE has had this formula. They've been around for 60 plus years. I think they stick to their formula and just make sure the booking, make sure the stories are captivating enough to attract the fans.
Yeah, and I just wonder sometimes in the locker room, because a lot of times when we've seen people jump from WWE to AEW, they've used the word freedom a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw what Bobby Lashley and MVP were talking about with the Hurt Syndicate, that MVP told Bobby in that interview in Chicago Sun-Times, don't sign. Our story with this is not over. We all knew it wasn't over.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't have been over, with the Hurt business in WWE. And they've taken it over to AEW. And you hear Ricochet, and even Adam Copeland, and Bryan Danielson is another one who's just loves what AEW does and the freedom that they get.
Dustin and I talk about it all the time.
Yeah, what does Dustin have to say about it?
He says the same thing. He has the freedom. I mean, I think if you watch the press conference, you saw how much love he has for Tony. I mean, he's signed until like 2030, I think. I think that's right. I mean, and he's 8 months younger than me. He's 56 years old. I'm about to turn 57 next month. But he's still going, and he loves it. And it's not just this is not just him playing up for the camera. He really does. I mean, like I said, he and I have talked about this many times before, whether it's getting ready for a show or something like that. Dustin has mentioned how much love he has for the freedom and how he is able to create in pro wrestling, not to mention the coaching. And he loves to coach, especially loves coaching the women. He's a huge advocate for women's wrestling. But I mean, but you're right. We hear this from a lot of people, and there is a certain, I mean, WWE has their formula, AEW has theirs. Theirs is probably a little more loose. And so, yeah, you get folks that maybe get to do some stuff they weren't able to do in WWE.
Yeah, I just wonder what people in WWE think when they see what's going on in AEW. And, I mean, they're making a ton of money. I mean, the base salary in WWE is $150,000 a year. That's a base salary. So getting to WWE is a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But but you're still, when you're a wrestler, you're still an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And getting locked into a certain way of doing things, can sometimes get a little old.
Yeah.
I think that's why you see a lot of the veteran guys, like Bryan Danielson kind of led the way over there in Mox, and a lot of the more veteran wrestlers have followed. And I do, yeah, I think that it does take a lot of experience to be able to do that AEW style, because of the fact that, okay, I know what works, what doesn't, and I know I can push this boundary, and this. I probably shouldn't do it. And sometimes things work. Sometimes what? Chris Jericho is a great example. There's things that Chris has done over there that people loved, and there's things that he's done that people have hated.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow Chris always turns it around. But I think that's going to be very interesting to follow over the next couple of years in terms of who goes to WWE, who goes to AEW, and so on. So I just saw that, especially with that interview with the Hurt Syndicate, and was like, wow, that's an interesting thought process.
Well, and you look at who Tony has brought in as far as the veterans, the legends that coach up. Look at that band, Jerry Lynn and Dean Malenko, Dustin, Ross and Marshall Von Erich just announced, was it last week or a couple weeks ago, that Kevin is now signed as a coach with WWE, Kevin Von Erich. I mean, Tony understands how much those individuals, how much wisdom they have, how much obviously the experience and what they can impart onto the younger members of that roster. And AEW is at a good spot. Look, a couple years ago, it was looking like, okay, well, WWE's back on top and they're just rolling right. They're just rolling, but you look at the beginning of AEW when Vince was still, in charge. Well, yeah, AEW looked great. And I think AEW is starting to creep back up to that status again, to where, yes, they are going to be a true alternative to what you see coming out of Stanford.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that as time goes by. But interesting comments coming out from everybody, that's for sure. We got Slammiversary tonight, and I want to talk about that with you, Stu, before we let you get out of here, so we can lead into our interview with Tom Hannifan from TNA. A pretty amazing card tonight, Stu. They had to open up more seats. And unfortunately, I talked to Tom on Thursday morning, and they made the AJ Styles announcement Thursday night, so caught a little bit of a bad break there. But this card, Stu, man, this is going to be a fun night tonight at the UBS Arena.
Yeah, you got the triple threat. Trick Williams defending the TNA world title against Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. I think that's going to be a great match. We mentioned the title with JC Jane and Masha Slamovich. The four-way ladder match for the tag title. That's going to be nuts. And of course, as soon as I saw that, first thing I thought of was the Hardy Boys coming back at WrestleMania 33 there at Camping World Stadium in Orlando. That was, and that was a huge moment. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, the return of, arguably the biggest name to ever come out of TNA wrestling or Impact Wrestling, AJ Styles. I kind of hope they use his old music too. I mean, as much as I like his WWE theme, I would love to hear that old TNA theme. I think that would be really cool. But that's going to be a cool moment. It's going to be a great show. And TNA always, I tell you what, the last couple of years they have put on some outstanding pay-per-views. They're doing great TV, and it's going to be one of those shows you don't want to miss.
Yeah. So the pre-show starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, with the main card starting at 8 and 5. So that's a $39.99er. I would recommend everybody to check out. I mean, this is going to, like you said, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. The Inspiration's back for the knockout tag titles. That's going to be great to see them wrestling Moose and Leon Slater. Very underrated match on this card. Very underrated. That's for the X Division.
That could get match of the night.
It's going to be wild. I mean, Leon Slater, this is his chance. After that X Division match where he jumped and nobody wanted to catch him, I think TNA might owe him a championship reign after that one. It was so bad. Tessa Blanchard's got Indy Hartwell, Mustafa Ali, and Cedric Alexander. That's going to be a blast.
Oh, God. Yes.
An absolute blast. And then, like you said, the tag match, that's going to be an absolute war with the Nemeths, the Hardys, the Rascals. And by the way, I know Trey Miguel's been going through a lot with his family. We want to wish him all the best.
Absolutely.
But First Class is kind of sitting there in that tag match. AJ Francis and KC Navarro. Wouldn't that be fun if they walked out with the titles? Oh, with those three teams there.
They're going to be that team that just sits back and waits for the right moment while the other three teams kill themselves.
Oh, I'm just wondering who AJ is going to choke slam off a ladder. Oh, AJ, he's got the best choke slam in pro wrestling right now. I swear to God, it's pretty good. The unification match, Masha Slamovich and JC Jane, winner take all for the Knockouts title and the NXT Women's Championship. And Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, Mike Santana. And I'm going to call this right now. I think Mike Santana's walking out with the title.
That wouldn't shock me. He has been, I mean, you look at the years with LAX and everything. It feels like his moment.
I think so, too. So brace yourselves for a great night with TNA. And speaking of TNA, We're going to be talking to Tom Hannifan in the next hour, so stick around. Stu, real quick, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Every podcast provider you can think of drops midweek. Check us out. Last week, John Alba joined me to recap All In. We'll have more coming up this week.
All right, and give us a follow on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show. We're all over the place. Just type it in. You'll find us at markhokeshow.com. All right, stick around, everybody. Hour number 2 coming up. Tom Hannifan from TNA as we talk Slammiversary and a little bit of Pennsylvania stuff. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
The real estate market feels more uncertain than ever these days. From Pahrump to Boulder City, homes are sitting longer for sale, prices are falling, and sellers are outnumbering buyers like never before. Do you want to sell your house now but worried about it sitting on the market for too long? Call Wedgwood Homes first to discuss your options. Do you have a house that needs repairs, ready to downsize, relocate, or sell an inherited property? Dealing with rental headaches, financial stress, or foreclosures? Wedgwood Homes can help. We offer a fast, reliable, all-cash offer. Wedgwood Homes buys homes as is, no repairs, no commissions, no hassle. Close in as little as 3 days or on your timeline. Don't wait for the market to get worse as home prices continue to fall. Skip the stress of a traditional listing. Call Wedgwood Homes. Our offers are firm, no last-minute price drops. Call 702-996-3583 for your no-obligation, all-cash offer. 702-996-3583. That's 702-996-3583. Las Vegas's trusted home buyer for 20 years. See our reviews at wedgwoodhomes.com.
There is no known safe amount of marijuana use during pregnancy. Marijuana is not safe for pregnant or breastfeeding women and their babies. Everything a mother eats, drinks, or smokes affects her developing baby or enters her breast milk. Just like alcohol and tobacco, using marijuana can have negative effects for your baby. Any form of marijuana may be harmful during pregnancy and while breastfeeding. Marijuana can affect your ability to care for your baby or someone else's baby. It is best for women to quit using while pregnant and breastfeeding. If you are pregnant or a new mother using marijuana, you are urged to seek help to quit. Pregnant women receive priority admission at state-funded treatment centers. Visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org. That's SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211. This message sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the station.
All right, Takis fans, Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips, so we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer. Then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month. Then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
KMXP HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas, 1015 FM KDAWN. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
They march 6 months into President Trump's second term. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News, but critics continue pointing to one issue. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports from the White House.
Despite notching yet another win, the president is still battling criticism over his administration's handling of the Epstein case. Saying on Truth Social, I have asked the Justice Department to release all grand jury testimony with respect to Jeffrey Epstein, subject only to court approval. With that being said, and even if the court gave its full and unwavering approval, nothing will be good enough for the troublemakers and radical left lunatics making the request. It will always be more MAGA. Critics think the White House is not doing enough to release information.
Jeffrey Epstein was indicted on a sex trafficking charge in July of 2019 before taking his own life via suicide a month later in his jail cell while awaiting trial on those charges. The U.S. brokering a ceasefire deal amid ongoing feuds between militias in Syria. Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv.
A ceasefire was announced in southern Syria to end the fighting in Sweda province. Bedouin tribes said they had withdrawn from this area as part of the agreement, but new video shows street clashes on the outskirts of the city over the weekend in the hours after U.S. Special Envoy Tom Barak called on all parties to lay down their weapons. Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara spoke about the violence erupting in the majority Druze area.
The Syrian state is committed to protecting all minorities and sects in the country and is proceeding to hold all violators accountable from any party.
Last week, hundreds of Israeli Druze crossed into southern Syria to help with the fight against majority Bedouin tribes. The Israeli army called for them to return and later secured the border.
UN estimates more than 87,000 people have been displaced since earlier this month. America's listening to Fox News.
Every weekday, it's your go-to source for staying informed and entertained. The Fox News Primetime Highlights Podcast, offering a curated selection of the most impactful moments of the Ingram Angle, Jesse Waters Primetime, Hannity, and Gutfeld. Listen and follow now so you never miss a moment of the action-packed highlights from these must-watch Fox News Channel shows. Go to foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. America's listening to Fox News. Fox News Audio presents Unsolved with James Patterson. Every crime tells a story, but some stories are left unfinished.
The thing that I'm so afraid of is I don't know how much evidence is left to even point the finger at the true person.
Best-selling mystery author James Patterson takes listeners into the core of some of America's most haunting mysteries. Real cases, real people. The Unsolved with James Patterson podcast. Listen and follow now at foxtruecrime.com.
Afternoons in Vegas are ruled by one radio show. It's the real, raw, and relevant talk found only on The Steve Sanchez Show. 3 to 6 p.m. on KDAWN, 101.5 FM, and on the Odyssey app.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
And we are back for hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling in the world, on the planet, the multiverse, wherever you go. I'll be there talking pro wrestling, and you're going to love it. But we are having a terrific show. Thanks to my good friend Stu Myrick for joining us in the last hour. Unfortunately, Phil Stamper had a massive power outage, power issue at his house. So we would have Phil, but he has got some trouble in the home. Might be calling an electrician, which really sucks. So maybe buy some of his merch if you go on the at Mark Hoke Show on X. I have a link to buy Phil Stamper merchandise. Some good trust in Phil stuff and President of Wrestling. So take a second, stop over there and help my friend Phil out. He may have some extra bills to pay. All right. And I am very excited because this day brings us Slammiversary. WWE and AEW got their weekend, but now TNA takes center stage. And we were talking about it the last hour. Some amazing matches on this card. The UBS Arena up in Long Island. A ton of seats sold for that. They had to open up more sections, including the return of AJ Styles to TNA, which is just going to absolutely blow the roof off that place, I'm sure, along with these incredible matches. We got a chance. I got a chance to sit down with Tom Hannifan, who does play-by-play announcing for TNA, And well, let's hear what he had to say about everything going on TNA and more. And we are on the Mark Hoke Show and welcoming in a guy that I keep being in the same building with, but I've never gotten to see him because he's always hiding up in those balconies in the palms. But we are very excited to welcome in our good friend, announcer for TNA, as they get ready for Slammiversary Sunday, July 20th at that UBS Arena in Long Island, New York. Pretty nice place up there. Countdown to Slammiversary show starting at 7 Eastern, and the main card starts at 8. That will be available on TNA Plus and all their digital platforms. And you can still get a few tickets at Ticketmaster. Tom Hannifan joining me on the show. What's going on, brother?
I'm good, man. That balcony at the Palms is very comfortable. I will say that. It's nice to be Statler and Waldorf with Matthew Raywald for an entire broadcast. And there's no enormous, sweaty, bloody person being flung into your announce desk. So there's little perks to it, but unfortunately you miss out on meeting wonderful people like yourself.
Well, I'm going to sneak up there. I was so tempted to start throwing stuff up there every time you guys were in town.
Just throw it at Raywald. Just throw it at him. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, that would be smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Well, Tom, first, I did want to mention, you and I, Pennsylvania guys. I'm South Central PA guy, Penn State guy, Philadelphia Eagles guy, as are you, my friend.
I mean, we're the best people in the world, aren't we? I am originally from Fort Washington, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. Penn State class of 2011, not to date myself, but I am an all-for Philadelphia sports fan. My roots run deep here in Pennsylvania with my family, and I still live here to this day. So it's been interesting, and then also, of course, Philadelphia is just such a wonderful wrestling hotbed. So anytime the TNA is here, even in the Northeast, like we are for Slam, it's just fantastic. It's such a good wrestling area.
Yeah, we all know that the sky is blue because God is a Penn State fan.
Exactly.
Right. and I also saw you did time at Juniata too. I know a lot about Juniata. I coach volleyball, so know the program very well.
Volleyball program's very good. Right after I finished up at Penn State, I was calling their men's and women's basketball and briefly their football before I got the job at WWE. So I'm very grateful to Juniata College for giving me an opportunity straight out of college, and it was a very good experience for me to go and cut my teeth with Penn State athletics at the college level, obviously being a part of the college communications, but then going to the Division III level and learning what it takes to really put it all together as a broadcaster. It was such a good experience.
That is amazing. You got that job with WWE so quick out of college, man.
You and me both think that. So that's a lot of luck.
Yeah. Well, let's start talking about TNA a little bit. There were some signs of TNA really getting rolling in Las Vegas. We had Hard to Kill up there, and the place was packed, and TNA has just continued to steamroll right now. I mean, you guys are selling out some pretty impressive venues. What do you feel like has been the key to TNA coming kind of out of the shadows and being the little brother hiding in the corner to this great spotlight that you guys are in now?
TNA wrestling's always been this land of underdogs and outcasts in one capacity or another. But the one thing I've seen that's been consistent in my entire time with TNA is the culture. It really is a family environment. I was so warmly welcomed and accepted by the people here that you just immediately felt embraced and you understood that everybody was pulling in the same direction. Of course, people have their individual goals in their career. You completely understand that. But everybody in TNA is trying to make this team, this product, as great as it possibly can be. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about in the past year and a half, the partnership with WWE has certainly been extremely positive for TNA wrestling and something that I think a lot of people never thought would materialize. Now, granted, there were the sporadic situations with the Royal Rumble before the partnership occurred itself, but I mean, it's just been a whirlwind, and to see the growth, I think everybody that's been with the company since I first started has experienced every little last thing of going from those smaller venues, smaller crowds, to now we're at the home of an NHL franchise, and it's one of our biggest events of all time. That's at least the way it looks. it's incredible. I think everybody's just grateful and everybody's hungry. That's the important thing.
It's funny you brought that up about the family and how everybody just seems to land in there. And I talked to Tommy Dreamer last year, and I remember he used the phrase "island of misfit toys." And there's so many people there that, were cast aside or, are trying to make a name for themselves. And somehow you guys have all put it together. And in a way now that people are super impressed with what's happening.
Well, look at the origins of the company. So many people that were in WCW once upon a time. So many people that were in ECW at one point. People that had worked in WWE either were let go or decided to pursue something different. People like the Samoa Joes of the world that were cutting their teeth and doing incredible things in Ring of Honor and other places. And everybody just kind of found their home. And I think there's just opportunity with TNA wrestling. There's opportunity regardless of where you are in your career, whether you're trying to learn, whether you're a legend that is trying to contribute to this company, to the business as a whole, to individuals, trying to bring them along. And then also I'm very excited about the people that we have helped build into full-fledged stars. And that's the exciting thing about what TNA has been able to do for 23 years now. It is the home of revolution in professional wrestling, and it's been that way for a long time.
Yeah, and we've seen so many people move on now, but I did want to ask about one person specifically real quick, was Naomi. And, what a story for her with the whole controversial release, and her confidence was gone, and now look where she is. And TNA was a huge part of that.
I've known Trinity for a long time. I remember calling some of those matches with the Funkadactyls, and just like, hey, where's this going to go for all these people involved? And seeing her develop, I got to call a good amount of her time when she was the SmackDown Women's Champion, and that was a special moment in her career. And her coming to TNA, there were a lot of things that she wanted to prove to herself and to the world. And I think she did. And I think it gave her the confidence to get her to where she is now, to see her cash in and become the women's world champion in WWE. Everybody in TNA wrestling was happy for her, excited for her. And it was something we knew she was capable of. And I think a lot of people in WWE knew she was capable of it too. And I think that's the incredible thing about pro wrestling and just life in general. There's no one direct path to success. It's a crooked line very, very often. And to see Naomi, Trinity get to where she is now, it's so special.
And we are on the Mark Hoke Show with Tom Hannifan from TNA. Now, this WWE thing caught a lot of people off guard. We saw, like you mentioned, a couple people show up at the Royal Rumble. But now, man, you guys are in bed with them pretty deep. And this is, there's a lot of people that are seeing this as a complete positive. Some people may be wondering, is WWE maybe thinking about down the road taking over? But overall, it's been a great experience for you. What has this been like to see this transition to working with WWE and TNA?
Well, for me, it's been very surreal. My first night with the company was Hard to Kill 2022. And I had been released from WWE in May of 2021. So my first night on the job, I'm talking about Mickie James in the Royal Rumble. And I was like, this is a rib.
God.
And a lot of the guys I've worked with had either been in WWE or had not been. And they were like, yeah, this does feel like a rib because you were, obviously on their air for so long. And now you're talking about it all over again. You're promoting this thing. It was just kind of, it felt like up is down, left is right. It was very strange. But then fast forward a number of years, and all of a sudden, Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry pop up on NXT, and then you have NXT talent that are coming to TNA and getting more experience, that sort of thing. People have their opinions, and that's fine. I really don't bother with the business side of things. I care about what we're putting on the air and the moments that we get to call. The positive thing is that we've grown leaps and bounds during this partnership. And you have to look at that partnership as one of the many reasons why. So I think it's been a good thing for everybody. And listen, like the main event of Slammiversary is incredibly intriguing. And part of that is because an NXT wrestler currently holds the TNA World Championship in Trick Williams. So it's been a symbiotic relationship, in my opinion.
What was that like to see Trick Williams win the TNA title? It had to just be so surreal for you, especially for your time in WWE, to watch that happen. As I know when I saw it happen, I said to myself, good Lord, this is real.
It was big. It was landscape changing. Now, I'm very aware once upon a time, Kenny Omega and AEW held the TNA World Championship. So unfortunately, this isn't completely unprecedented, but I don't think anybody ever saw a situation where a WWE contracted wrestler would hold a TNA championship. If you had told Jeff and Jerry Jarrett and the late great Bob Ryder 20 plus years ago on that fishing trip once upon a time that this would happen, I think they'd been like, you're kidding me. There's no way. So there's been a lot of impossible things that have been possible and have happened because of this partnership. So personally, when it happened, I was sick to my stomach because I know Trick Williams doesn't give a damn about TNA wrestling. I know he does a lot of media and he'll say the opposite of that, but Trick cares about Trick, and he won that championship by cutting corners, cheating at Battleground to beat Joe Hendry. And he did it out of spite because he was humiliated by Joe Hendry. So I'm hoping that all gets rectified this Sunday at Slammiversary, but it's certainly been one of the biggest stories in the industry since Trick won the title.
And let's not sleep on Mike Santana in that main event too. Ooh. Mike has been unbelievable since he came over to TNA. One of the most impressive runs that I could have imagined him putting together. It's amazing.
It's really incredible. And he was just on the Ariel Helwani show talking about his time in AEW and wanting to do more, just wanting to grow. And that's why he came back to TNA Wrestling. Is I think he's seen a path for himself of what he can be in this business that he has been hell-bent on accomplishing, that he won't give up. And I think there have been so many things that have happened in his personal life that have fueled him and driven him to this moment. And for it all to be potentially happening in his backyard, his home of New York at Slammiversary, it's something they write in Hollywood movies. So I know I'm pulling for him. I'm pulling for Joe Hendry, of course. You just want to see the TNA World title brought home, but that's also the challenge of this entire situation is it's every man for himself. Trick doesn't have to be pinned or submitted to lose his championship, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that Joe and Mike do what's best for TNA. At the end of the day, they have to do what's best for them.
Tom Hannifan, who wins the match?
You know what? I'm not going to go to predictions and spoilers and all that sort of stuff, but I appreciate it. The fact that Trick won the title, you can't predict anything anymore in this business. There's what I hope happens, and I just articulated, but who wins, we'll find out.
Fair enough. I'll let you slide on that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. But this is a terrific card, too. You start running down through here. You've got Moose taking on Leon Slater for the X Division Championship. That tag match is going to be incredible. The Nemesis taking on the Hardys, the Rascals, and First Class. And AJ Francis, by the way, I haven't got to interview him yet, but that is another huge turnaround. I mean, what he's been able to accomplish in TNA and just bring out his personality after everything that happened in WWE. What a great time for him. But talk a little about AJ and this tag match, because it's going to be it's just loaded with talent.
Well, I was talking about it before, is that TNA Wrestling presents you with an opportunity, and it's what you do with that opportunity. And AJ Francis will be the first person to tell you that he made Joe Hendry last year, and their rivalry certainly intertwined with that moment where Joe went viral for his song and a million other things that were going on in his world. So AJ Francis has done some positive things here in TNA Wrestling. I'm excited about this ladder match because I love ladder matches, period. I love tag team ladder matches. So you have the Hardys, who've been in, I think this will be their 18th as a duo, which is insane. And you're just like grateful for any last ones we get from them, considering like you just want what's best for their physical health, period. Casey Navarro is rehabbing through a left knee injury and should be okay, as far as I know, for Slammiversary. Trey Miguel has been dealing with injuries, so questions for the Rascals. Nick Nemeth basically made his name in a ladder match, Money in the Bank once upon a time. His brother Ryan has never been in a ladder match, and I'll be the first person to tell you Ryan is in TNA because Nick. So I'm very excited to see how this whole thing goes, because anything can happen in a ladder match, and especially when the Hardys are involved and they want to reimagine things, the possibilities are endless, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, but we'll see what happens.
I always think it's a good thing when Matt does
it will be
crazy
good
stuff.
Yeah.
Tessa Blanchard's taking on Indy Hartwell. Mustafa Ali has got Cedric Alexander. That should be a fantastic match.
Absolutely.
The Elegance brand against the Inspiration, Cassie and Jessica, are back, which is
Cassie and Jesse. I got to correct you. Cassie and Jesse.
Oh, I'm sorry. My
Jesse
apologies.
will come for you. Ray Walt made that mistake recently, and he's now dubbed them Cassica and Jessica. So you got to be very careful. Inspiration are wonderful. I love them to pieces, but Jesse will come for you.
Well, you know what? That might not be a bad thing. And we've also got a unification match. Masha Slamovich, the TNA Knockouts champ, is taking on JC Jane, the NXT Women's Champion. Another one of these WWE crossover matches. How excited are you for this one? Because unless there's a goofy finish, somebody's walking out with 2 titles.
This is maybe the greatest gamble in the young history of this partnership between WWE and TNA, in that we're guaranteed to see a double champion between TNA and WWE. And I think the really important part of this is that it will be a woman who accomplishes that feat, and their name will go down in history. Now, selfishly looking at this, if we get to the end of Slammiversary and Trick Williams is still the TNA World Champion and JC Jane is now the TNA Knockouts World Champion, I think that's worst case scenario for TNA Wrestling, because the mission is to bring our titles home, to keep our titles at home on TNA wrestlers. So we're all pulling for Masha Slamovich here in TNA.
Yeah, it is going to be a wild night. And once again, that is coming up Sunday, the 20th. The pre-show starts at 7, and then we've got the main card starting at 8. You can watch that on TNA Plus and all sorts of digital platforms. And if you're up in New York, you can get tickets at Ticketmaster.com. And there's not many left, but there's a few decent seats there. So get on in there and enjoy yourself at the USB Arena. I wish I could come out and be with you, Tom Hannifan.
I wish you could too. Listen, I'm dying for us to get back to Las Vegas at some point. We've always had such good experiences whenever TNA Wrestling has worked in Las Vegas, but this weekend, UBS Arena, Long Island, like the home of the New York Islanders, an NHL franchise. I think everybody in the company feels the magnitude of this event. It's shaping up to be one of the biggest events in company history, and we haven't even gotten to our biggest event of the year, Bound for Glory, this year. So I'm really excited about this one, man.
It's going to be a blast. Tom, where can everybody find you on social media?
Check me out on X, as the kids say, and Instagram at Tom Hannifan, TomHannifan.
And are you still doing that Penn State podcast, by the way?
Always. Oh, my God. Yeah. For 4 years now, myself and former Penn State and NFL defensive back Justin King, I love working with him. We're going to be covering what should be, hopefully, is a huge year for Penn State football. I don't know about you, I've been trying to temper expectations and phrase it as Penn State can credibly contend for the national championship this year. So if you're interested in hearing about Penn State football, check out State of Penn State Football Show with myself, Tom Hannifan, and Justin King, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts.
It's going to be awesome. So is Slammiversary. I hope you have a great time. And next time you're in Vegas, we will sing Fly Eagles Fly for Matt. How's
that? Yes. Let's do it. Go Birds.
Sounds good. Tom, thanks for joining us. Really do appreciate it. Have a great time up there in New York, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. There you go. Tom Hannifan from TNA. And he's got a big job tonight calling the action at Slammiversary. This is going to be a sensational card. And the rise of TNA has been unbelievable. And if you can, I would highly recommend, shelling out the bucks and getting this card. And of course, you can get that year-long TNA Plus membership too. So plenty of chances for you to catch the action on TNA as they continue to rise. And that cooperation with WWE isn't hurting things at all. That's for sure. Even though I still think WWE is going to buy him. I really do. I read a story today that they were actually looking at, they might have been tweaking around with some offers, but we'll see what the future of TNA holds. But right now it's pretty darn bright. And with that, we're going to take a break. And when we return, more from the world of pro wrestling. Oh man, the injuries, they're stacking up. And we had a very interesting intergender match last night at GCW. We'll talk about that a little. And some very unhappy folks at the WWE headquarters. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Ready to crank up your career in Las Vegas? This is Air Supply, and we're looking for the best residential AC technicians and installers in the biz. If you got the skills, we got opportunities. We're talking top pay, weekly training, steady work, and a 4-day work week. Plus, right now, we're throwing in a $2,500 signing bonus. Your focus on the customer, that's what we value. Your expertise, that's what we respect. Ready to build an amazing future? Call us today at 702-328-0888. That's 702-328-0888.
Dear Rocky Roads, the 2025 Toyota Tacoma doesn't flinch. Rugged twists, been there. Rutted turns, done that. With tons of top tech, Tacoma is tougher than any terrain. And when the dust settles, Tacoma's legendary resale value means confidence for the road ahead. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Visit your Southern Nevada Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads, race car bobbleheads, little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits from financially strong insurers.
Call 800-715-9880.
That's right, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling today.
Call 800-715-9880. That's 800-715-9880.
Sponsored by Annuity General. Producers have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer. Increased income is possible using strategies suited to your goals and may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, let's get back to it. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show. Happy to have you joining us. And just a reminder, we are, of course, on KDAWN. We're also on the Odyssey app. And if you haven't downloaded the app, it is a terrific app. We got shows from our station, all of the Odyssey 220 plus stations, plus many, many more podcasts from around the world. I mean, it is literally your one-stop shop for podcasts and radio shows. So go get that app right now, and I promise you the sun's going to shine a little brighter on the top of your head. You'll be thrilled. AUDACY. Go get that app right now. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, and Facebook at Mark Hoke Show on X and the Mark Hoke Show on Facebook and YouTube. So join us there. And if you do, you can hop in and comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts on everything we're talking about. What do you think is going to happen tonight at TNA Slammiversary? And so much more. And just take care of a little bit of business. Want to remind everybody, Off Grid Creations, man, they're going to take care of you if you need anything with a logo on it. Mike Franco is going to take great care of you. I promise. Just give him a call. Embroidery, T-shirts, stress balls. Whatever you want, he can do it. He was just telling me about how he's making golf vests for a tournament the other day. Give him a call, 661-300-1115, 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115, off-gridcreations.com. Just call Mike and he'll get you a free consultation and help you build your brand right now. So make sure you check him out. I also want to mention, before we get back into the pro wrestling, a friend of mine, I haven't seen him for a while because I've been out of the poker world for a little bit, but one of my first big guests on my poker show that I did for all those years, Michael Mizrachi, won the WSOP main event and did it in pretty decisive fashion. They were down to 4 players in the main event, and he wiped the other 3 players out in an hour, wins $10 million, the WSOP main event title. Plus, he also won the Poker Players Championship and the Chip Reese Trophy, which is the most prestigious other tournament at the World Series of Poker. And he was instantly inducted unanimously into the Poker Hall of Fame, which just doesn't happen. They elect one person a year, but they put Mike in. So congratulations to the Grinder. He is your new main event world champion. Gets to have his banner up there at the Horseshoe in Paris forever. Way to go. And he's a great guy too. So way to go, Grinder, my man. All right. Some pretty rough news coming out of just about everywhere. First, we want to take a second and wish Buff Bagwell all the best. If you remember, Buff unfortunately had to have a leg amputated from some injuries received in a car accident, I believe back in 2020. So we want to wish Buff all the best. And, he's a tough guy, and I'm sure he's going to adapt, but wishing Buff Bagwell all the best. We also had injuries. Colton Gunn got hurt on the collision tapings. Not sure what's up there yet. Looked like he tweaked his knee. So the Guns, who just had finally made their return to AEW, well, unfortunately, it could be put on hold for just a little bit. Gabe Kidd got hurt at the G1 Climax tournament, and Kidd, who's really starting to get some attention, unfortunately, is down, and they are not sure what the extent of the injury. He hyperextended his knee, taking on Takeshita, but of course it's right in the middle of this thing. So we're going to have to see if he's going to be able to continue to wrestle in the G1 Climax tournament. A lot of people thought he was one of the favorites, but Gabe Kidd is down. We also have Will Ospreay. Remember, he got whacked in the main event at the end of All In, but they thought he was going to be out for a month, but apparently they think this is much more serious. Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer said he'd been working hurt for a while. He'd take some time off from rest, but no concrete update of how long he's going to be out, but he is getting checked out this week. Samoa Joe also got written off TV, so I believe that's probably could be more from some acting stuff. Kenny Omega also taking some time off too after AEW All In. We also have a casualty in the Goldberg-Gunther match, and it was neither of the combatants. Charles Robinson, the longtime referee, Little H, when he took that spear from Goldberg, cracked a couple of ribs. Youch. So unfortunately, Charles Robinson's going to be on the shelf for a little bit. But you know what? Knowing him, he's probably going to be back out there pretty fast. I couldn't imagine, but yeah, he put up an X-ray on his Instagram showing the cracked rib he got when Goldberg did that spear. So, Little Nate, take care, buddy. We miss you, and get back in the ring soon. And I know this list just keeps on going. Adam Cole, who nearly retired at All In, but decided to kind of slow it down and was getting ready to say goodbye and said, well, let's see what happens. But Adam Cole apparently is officially dealing with concussion issues from that Thursday night Collision show. He just took a clothesline, went down, hit his head on the mat, and unfortunately, he is going to be out indefinitely. One of the nicest guys in pro wrestling, and we want to wish Adam Cole all the best. At least on a good news on the medical side, we have Kevin Owens, who finally decided to go in and get that neck surgery done. So they were expecting him to be out for about a year, but on the 18th, he did have that his injured neck repaired, and they said it went well. So hopefully he's going to be back as quickly as possible. But Kevin Owens, one of my personal favorites. I have been a Kevin Owens fan back from Kevin Steen days there in Ring of Honor, is on the mend. So we want to wish him all the best. We also mentioned intergender match, and I want to talk about this for a little bit. Last night at GCW, Deonna Purrazzo and Jonathan Gresham hooked it up. That's right. Two of the best technical wrestlers on the planet got in there, and they did not disappoint. There's a great sequence from that match on social media that Deonna put up. But it does bring to light the idea that we are seeing more and more intergender matches especially on the indies. Not quite so much in the in WWE, but AEW's, we just saw Marina Shafir get the hell knocked out of her by Hangman Adam Page. But this is getting very interesting to see all these intergender matches. Like I said, they happen on the indies a pretty fair amount. Do you like intergender matches? Is it a good idea? But, they're all doing the same thing, but obviously a big strength issue for that. But we'll see how these intergender matches keep rolling. Of course, there was rumor a little while back we were going to get Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. I still want that to happen. I still want it to happen. But keep an eye on those intergender matches. Quite a few going on. Some news out of WWE, and I'll tell you what, they have been having some PR issues with WWE, and there are a couple things that have happened over the past few days that I don't know if it really helped at all. First, WWE apparently revised their severance packages and really upset a lot of the team out there, taking it down. I believe they're getting, and I apologize, I'm looking for the story here. They were at, I believe, a month's worth of severance pay, and it got cut in half down to 2 weeks. And here we go. And so employees saying they are disgusted. But yeah, the old policy, employees receive 1 month for every year they worked for the company, has been removed. So TKO policy of 2 weeks severance pay for each year an employee worked for the company will be implemented. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a lot. I mean, you're talking that getting slashed in half or every year. And employees must have been working within WWE TKO for at least one continuous year to be able to qualify. So the morale's down. The employees are disgusted, especially ones that are less tenured, because that certainly is going to sting them. But, how the TKO has been operating, man. They are slash. And, when you put a couple of companies together, the WWE, UFC, and they got the bull riding in there now, certainly you're going to see some things not so good for employees happen. But, wow, tough break there for WWE employees as they take a little bit of a hit on their severance pay. We also had another one too, and this story just annoyed the hell out of me. It's stupid. It's foolish. No reason for it. What is that story? You got to stick around to find out. as we get ready to roll into the final segment of the Mark Hoke Show. And real quick, make sure you check out the TravelShark.com, man. Get those discounts on those hotels. Go to the TravelShark.com/Hoke Show, powered by Priceline. Get those employee mystery prices without playing games. Check it out at the TravelShark.com/Hoke Show. We'll be right back.
Get your team outfitted for the Vegas heat. Off-Grid Creations delivers high-quality custom screen printing with a personal touch. Custom company swag is always a cool idea, and we've got hot deals for the hot weather. Whether it's a few t-shirts for an event, band merch, or family reunion gear, we've got you covered. Need a large order for uniforms, sports teams, or clubs? Our team will guide you from design to final product. Call 661-300-1115 or visit off-gridcreations.com. Get your free consultation today.
Terribles Gaming is giving away a $10,000 vacation every week during our $260,000 free play and getaway, July through September. Like an Alaskan cruise, a Hawaiian escape, and so much more. With over 200 locations across Nevada at any Terribles Market, Albertsons, or Vons. Terribles Gaming is the most convenient way to play, and now the most convenient way to vacate. Visit TerriblesGaming.com to learn more. Must be 21 years or older and a Terribles Gaming Players Club member to participate.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Do you have over $10,000 in credit card debt? If you're feeling the financial impact with unprecedented economic challenges, DebtBlue is here for you. With DebtBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved.
I'm just living sky high right now. I'm very thankful for it. And the team at DebtBlue are phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now. 800-200-6895. 800-200-6895. 1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we return for the final segment of the Mark Hoke Show. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment right here in Las Vegas. We're going to end up being the capital of pro wrestling, I think. WWE is coming. And they're not just coming to hang out. That headquarters is coming. You can quote me on that. Right across the street from us over here. We got UFC and a big plot of land. So get ready. I'm telling you. You know, they're making all these plans to do a lot of WrestleManias here. And I'm sure there'll be other events as well. So Sin City going to be taking over pro wrestling. WWE, why do they do these silly little things? Why? What silly little thing am I talking about? Bryan Danielson left the company a while ago. He's been a stalwart in AEW. And of course, we all love doing the yes, yes, yes. Well, you know, he uses that thing every once in a while. And all of a sudden, WWE in the past, they've sent them letters and said they were infringing on the trademark that they got, or on the trademark they were trying to get, and then they trademarked yes, yes, yes. Well, at StarCast, which I missed, thank you, Frontier Airlines, Danielson said that once again, WWE said, please stop using that chant. Danielson, and this is so Brian Danielson. He explained, per Coldaholic, by the way, explained during his time in AEW, he actually hasn't uttered the word yes while doing the hand gesture. The fans do it. So what are you going to do? You got to try to outlaw and trademark a hand gesture? He thinks they can't do it. And he said, I don't care if I get in trouble, whatever. But once again, it's a petty little thing. It's a crowd chant. What are you going to do? Really? Come on. Brian Danielson made you a lot of money. The least you could let him have is to go, yes, yes, yes. That's okay if he doesn't say it. Good luck. Good luck. Because Brian is that guy is a smart, clever dude. And if WWE pulls anything, he let him outlaw the pointing up, and he'll kind of curve it out to the side or something. No, I'm doing a hand gesture out to the side and then up. I'm not doing these straight up. Sometimes I know WWE wants to protect their product, but sometimes, man, you just got to know when to let it go. Let go of Brian. He's not coming back. He may get into the Hall of Fame someday or something like that, but he's happy where he is. And anybody that messes with his happiness, I can tell you what, it doesn't go well. So, guys, let the chance happen. Jiminy Christmas. Another old timer, by the way, in WWE, another Hall of Famer, Kurt Angle, has signed on to Real American Freestyle. That's right, the freestyle wrestling event and series that Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan are putting together. Kurt Angle, who, of course, won an Olympic gold medal. With a broken neck, in case you forgot. He is signed on with the brand. So exciting news there to get Kurt Angle joining in the fun. And, of course, this is Kurt's thing. I mean, he grew up watching freestyle wrestling, achieved the highest level of success in the sport. And he is absolutely excited to join into Real American Freestyle 1 and bring freestyle wrestling to audiences around the world. And, so that's going to be pretty cool. That takes place at the Wolstein Center in Cleveland, Ohio. Having a little trouble on the ticket sales, but they are, I would imagine things are going to pick up. So get ready for that. I believe that's at the end of August. And I'll double check that date for you. But, pretty cool that Kurt Angle, that's August 30th. All right. Also in the news, let's see, because I got to get through all these. Oh my God, I had a list of injuries. But speaking of injuries, Seth Rollins. Is Seth pulling the sneaky one on us? We had Seth Rollins, of course, stop a match at Saturday night's main event against LA Knight, where they cut the finish short, and supposedly, because Rollins hurt his knee, they carried him out. He's been walking around on crutches and knee brace. But a lot of people are speculating this is a work. And people were concerned. He did that moonsault off the rope and came down on his feet and, tweaked his knee. And Seth has had knee problems in the past. Some are saying it's 4 to 5 months. Some are saying this is not legit, that he hurt his knee a little bit and he's just taking a little time off to heal, but he's fine. and he's going to cash in at SummerSlam. That's the rumor that's happening, that he's going to get involved in the Gunther CM Punk match at SummerSlam. So we're going to find out pretty shortly if good old Seth Rollins is being a sneaky son of a gun. Wouldn't shock me. No. It was weird when it happened. He was just sitting in the ring after it happened, and a doctor came over and checked him out, and then they finished the match. I don't know. We'll see. AEW Collision that aired last night. Death Riders attacked Colt Cabana. They hung Colt Cabana. Are you kidding me? Is it Dark Order time in AEW? Are those guys finally going to get a little bit of a push? Good. Miss Evil Uno and the troop and John Silver. I'm taller than him, by the way. It's crazy. Met him a couple of years ago. I am taller than Silver. I'm 5'6". Incredible that he does what he does in the ring. So we'll see if the Dark Order is going to be getting things going. We also had a report on Omos, the Giant. He may be headed to AAA. Of course, he did a little stint over there in Japan, really brought him back over. And he has been just kind of on the shelf training, but apparently WWE is thinking about sending him down to wrestle in AAA in Mexico. Oh, good Lord. Luchadors and Omos. Maybe a lot of luchador catching going on, but Omos is going to be hanging around. We also had our good friend Chris Van Vliet interviewed Adam Sandler and got to talking about MJF and what it was like to work with Max. I'm sure it was a joyous pleasure. But he said he was pretty cool. He said he was funny as hell. What a great kid. Love him. Family member. Apparently he's playing one of Happy's sons. Went and had a match, came back the next day. Kid is jacked and he's a stud. I'm happy to say he's my fake son forever. I love my fake son. I love him in real life. So MJF getting a nice review from Adam Sandler. I believe he's coming back into town too. And I went to see the last show that he did here. Fantastic. So if you haven't seen Adam Sandler live, take the opportunity. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, MJF getting some praise from Adam Sandler. And we're getting ready for SummerSlam, guys. A lot of things happening as that card continues to advance. Here's your card for SummerSlam at this point. John Cena, who got mauled by Cody Rhodes on SmackDown, will be defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Cody. Tiffany Stratton will meet Jade Cargill. So that's going to be a rough one for Tiff. They've met before, though. But is it finally time that Jade Cargill takes home the WWE Women's Championship? We'll see. The much ballyhooed / criticized tag match, it is Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Would you have bet that one 10 years ago? Could you imagine if you went to Randy about 10 or 15 years ago and said, hey, guess what you're going to be doing at SummerSlam 2025? Your tag team partner is Jelly Roll. You'd be like, do I eat it? They'll take on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul in a tag match. Well, they said Jelly Roll did all right on the Kimmel show. I'm not happy about this, but it is what it is. Gunther will be defending the World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. Won that gauntlet match, so it'll be Gunther and Punk for the World Heavyweight title. Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky will be in a triple threat for the Women's World Championship. So Naomi gets thrown right into the fire after cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase. And Becky Lynch defends the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Lyra Valkyria. That is 6 matches on the card so far. Well, that's not going to fill 2 days, so a lot more coming. So get ready to see how things turn out for SummerSlam. But this is a good card so far. Now the question is, are they going to stand out? What are they going to do in the shadow of All In to up what happened there? We'll see if they can do it. I mean, obviously the talent's there, but they're going to try and dominate the social media scene for sure. But I'm more personally worried about what happens in the ring. So we'll see the story of SummerSlam 2025. All right, and that's going to do it for us here on the Mark Hoke Show. I want to thank Stu Myrick for sitting in. Hopefully Phil Stamper will be back next week. And want to thank Tom Hannifan from TNA and wish those guys all the best at Slammiversary. It is going to be an awesome, awesome card. Spend the bucks, guys. Get your friends together and watch some TNA wrestling, especially if you haven't seen it in a while. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show, markhokeshow.com. You kind of get the gist. And we will see you next week, Las Vegas. Thanks for being with me. Hope you all have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next week.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for